Let me ask you a question. What is the number one most important thing to deer hunting to you? Like, as far as creating success, what is a must?
And you put a big umbrella over that conversation or that question, right? So I would say, here we go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cast&Blast podcast. You're sitting here live and direct in front of PB&J, Pinche, Ben, and Jimmy, aka PB&J.
PB&J.
Man, we have some. I guess we wanted to start it off with some local news, man. Some stuff going on here in Texas in the hunting and fishing world, and just share some stories with you guys that you can take with you, maybe learn from the experience, maybe laugh with us, and maybe not laugh at some serious incidences that are happening around. I read it in Wyoming. A guy is in trouble for 19 years ago shooting some bears illegally.
19
years ago. I guess I don't know. I should have pulled the story up. I do have this other story I want to share.
What's
but
the statute limitations for shooting a bear?
Well, apparently he got busted here later with some feathers that from an American bald eagle. They had went in to seize his. I think there was like an argument between him and his girlfriend. His girlfriend ratted him out.
Oh man, there you go.
And said he had some stuff or whatever in his house. So the game warden went over to his house and they actually went to go see some things. And during that investigation, they found a jar with some feathers, a glass jar. Obviously, it was probably a cylindrical shaped jar or whatever. And he had these feathers. He explained to the game warden that those feathers were from a bird that had been hit by a car. All right. So he retrieved the feathers and in just so happened to have a couple of talons. So, upon every investigation, the further you start digging, the further you start finding other things.
You can almost understand the feathers,
right?
But the talons,
all right,
you're grasping.
So, along with those feathers and those talons, the game warden or DNR, whoever up in Wyoming, found a ornate looking necklace with some bear claws. 5 bear claws were on this necklace. Talking to the hunter said, "Yeah, I didn't know how to say that, or I didn't know what to say, but I shot a pack of bears while I was hunting for pigs." And
for pigs? Do they even have pigs in?
I don't even know, man. This guy was the story started getting really sketch, and he was just like, "So I took a shot, spooked the bear, shot the bear, killed the bear. There was 2 cubs with it. I shot both the cubs as well." So he went down into a ravine to go see the bear that he had shot, and it was like down and he cut the claws off and kept them or whatever. It's like, why didn't you say anything then? Long story short, man, this guy's facing a lot of charges and fines upwards towards $35,000 for illegally shooting these bears. And, it all boils down to don't leave a relationship with a scorned woman.
The other thing is deny.
Bro, I mean, he there was a lot more in the article that he was going to get charged with. There was other things. And it just goes down to show, like, when you're doing something wrong, man, it's really easy to, like, okay, you're out hunting and a bear attacks you, or a bear, you are allowed to defend yourself.
Kill it in self-defense.
You kill it in self-defense. Say something.
Yeah.
Let the DNR or the game wardens know, and they'll do their investigation. And chances are you're going to be in a lot less trouble than you would if you waited and they did an investigation and found out other things going on that are questionable, and all of a sudden the integrity is definitely not in your favor.
So the cool thing is, here in Texas, we don't have bears.
We don't.
Right? But that's not the only...
Allegedly.
Yeah. That's not the only thing that sounds like got him in trouble.
Yeah.
He pissed off the wrong person, right?
Pissed off the wrong person.
So we don't have bears, but we do got crazy ladies, which apparently they do in Wyoming too.
Yeah.
I think you got a story to read us, huh?
There's also crazy ladies here in Texas, and Brownsville, Texas. Here's a story. A woman was arrested allegedly assaulting her boyfriend while in a fishing trip, authorities said. Imagine that. She assaulted her boyfriend at a fishing trip. Faith Julius Zamora was charged with assault, dating violence.
Charged with what?
Assault, dating violence. I didn't even know that was a thing.
What the hell is assault dating violence?
Well, according to Cameron County Sheriff's Office, the release on Sunday, October 22nd, authorities responded to Jaime Zapata Memorial Boat Ramp on Highway 48 regarding a disturbance. At the scene, a man told the police that he arrived with his girlfriend, identified as Zamora, at the boat ramp to fish. He said that Zamora began drinking alcohol and started being aggressive towards him.
It's not a fishing trip if you don't, right?
According to the release, Zamora began slapping him in the face. The man called 911 shortly after, and after the assault, deputies said Zamora admitted to slapping her boyfriend. Man, it's a simple domestic disturbance call, but it happened at the boat ramp. How many of us have taken the lady with us, or, a girlfriend, a wife, or...
So if they're married, is it
I think it was his girlfriend.
married assault violence?
It was assault. Yeah, good question. That was assault dating violence.
Is it different?
I would imagine there's, I don't know, domestic violence or anything, but, and I mean, first off, you got to be man enough to call the cops, say that my girl is slapping me.
He's not trying to go to jail. He's probably been down this road before.
You know what? I'm starting to think that he had, nah, man, last time I did this, they had me behind bars. I'm going to call the cops.
Your turn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, maybe they were having a problem before they went to the boat ramp, and he was just like, hey, I'm going to get your ass. I'm going to get to the boat ramp. He started
fucking pushing buttons. And
man, she got down there, started slapping his ass, and he was like, man, I'm going to call the cops.
Slap me one more time.
See what happened.
Slap me one more time. Oh, that's it. 911.
Hell yeah.
Got your ass.
Yeah, so I just think it's hilarious because it came across my feed. A lot of stuff from South Texas still comes across my feed. I watch a lot of the news and try to stay in tune with what's going on. And that story really, really made me laugh because it really, it's one of those things where I can see that in South Texas. Yeah, that's a real common thing.
That's funny though, man. I mean,
hey, shout out to Brownsville, man. Puro 956. You guys are always representing, man. And the girls down there, hey. The dude was backing up the Mamalona with the boat ramp, sitting there freaking, had the boat had the boat down at the ramp. Didn't even get in the water yet, bro. And he's getting slapped in the face. His girl's all...
Yeah, that sucks. So you trying to take your girl out on the street, like a good day,
She's over there drinking her White Claw.
Yeah, here's your watermelon White Claw,
Yeah.
Like, you just getting...
Stas, mocos, cabrón. She's slapping him in the face. Who's that bitch? She's all jealous of your last, I don't know, man. Yeah, dude.
Who's Veronica? You locked her Instagram picture.
Exactly, man. La Toxica. Hey, bro, I'm telling you right now, man, I have yet to go on a fishing trip with the wife and not had drama. And it wasn't even my drama came from fishing drama. We...
Like your drama, like you were talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Forgetting
rods in the truck, get all the way out. And it's the stress added. I don't know why, but when I go fishing with my wife or my daughter, there's always added stress. I can imagine with a girlfriend and this and that. And I see my boys posting pictures all the time, fishing, surf fishing, got the girl with them.
He knows that she's crazy before they go.
He definitely knows.
He knows.
Hey, man. Hey, I hope their relationship works out. And soon we have the Zamora family wedding. And hey, if that ain't red flags, bro, I don't know what is. But you better pull pitch now, man. Because
it could have got worse, man. At least they didn't have the boat in the water. What would have happened if they would have got out?
Hey, that dude might have been sleeping with the fishes out there.
Yeah. You see, you're sleeping with the fishes.
Hey, there you go. So, man, there was something here local too that you wanted to share with us. It's actually got a kind of a lesson.
I hope there's a lesson learned here. It was up on one of the closest public land areas, hunting areas around here, up on Lake Whitney, Lake Aquila area up there in a WMA. So what it was a teenage boy wanted to go out hunt, normal normal day, gonna go out hunting. He was doing it's archery season right now, so he was taking a crossbow out. I've read a couple of different articles, and each one of them say something a little different. So this is just a statement from what looks like the family, just kind of saying that he did get hit, and this is what happened. So one of the article, well, actually two of the articles I read, it spelled this incident out in a different way, but mainly what it sounds like happened is this young hunter was climbing up in a tree stand, like a ladder stand, is what it sounds like, with a crossbow, but he had it loaded, which I understand with going up. You're not gonna, you're
You
not gonna
can't. Yeah,
cock
it's
it.
harder.
You're not gonna cock it up in a tree stand. But where he failed is he had the bolt in there, so it was fully loaded.
Mm,
So sometime during the ascend up the ladder, the crossbow went off
mm.
and it struck him, which I seen I seen one article where it said it went through his lower stomach and up through his shoulder, but in this particular statement, which I think is from the family, says he was immediately taken. Well, they said he become wounded by misfire of a crossbow. He was care flighted to Cook's Children's Hospital, where he was immediately went into soldier to fix his colon that was struck by the arrow. He's currently in ICU, and he has a long road ahead of him. And he said, or they said that currently right now the broadhead is embedded in his L5 vertebrae, which we found out is at the very low part of your back. So, goddamn, can you imagine a broadhead? Well,
No,
one, your
I don't.
colon, your insides and your colon getting ripped apart by a broadhead, and then that broadhead being embedded in your L5
I
vertebrae.
bet it sounded like he
It's
got struck by lightning, bro.
oh my god, man.
That impact, hitting that close to like your central nervous system, everything. You can imagine the trauma that that young man is recovering from.
First, I'm glad that he's still alive.
He's still
It-
alive. He's
and
got a
very
long
luckily,
road ahead of him as far as recovery. I think your article said he was in ICU. And man, prayers to that him and his family. I hope he recovers. And I hope that doesn't deter him from hunting again. I just hope that
I hope that he's still able to hunt again.
there's a lesson to be learned there. He may be doing some things differently, and
Should be a lesson learned for all. Getting up and down a tree stand. If you got a crossbow, take that bolt out.
take the bolt out. Don't load that bolt until you're up and settled.
Well,
And we talk about it all the time, having a
you got a gear rope.
gear rope.
Use the gear
Leave that
rope.
down at the base of
Leave it
that
there.
ladder stand. Get up, get settled, pull your gear up. Once you're down in your comfortable position, you got your lanyard and all that stuff, and you're ready to go. Should be the last thing you're doing is getting that bolt loaded.
Oh, I can't imagine. Broadhead stuck in your.
He's probably done that. I don't know how many times. I would hope that his experience, he's just like.
Well,
But that goes to show that with time, complacency, and all that stuff, those things settle in, and we make mistakes.
Yeah.
Could he have been tired?
You
Could
get
have
out
been a
there.
young man getting off of work, trying to get up, going into a
No,
evening hunt.
still in high school. That's what I'm saying. It probably was an evening hunt, and you get in a rush, and you get out there. You're trying to get settled in. That's what it seems like. But goddamn, man, I can't imagine. Can't imagine.
Yeah, I hope he does all right. But these articles that come across in the hunting and fishing world. There's boating accidents. When our friends were out, when Charlie and Holly were down at
Oh, in Missouri
in Missouri.
Yeah,
They were down there on a fishing trip on their honeymoon.
yeah.
And there was a boating accident where a boat actually got to the actual it just launched itself onto a house or something.
Yeah, so I think they kept hauling ass up and down the
Yeah,
the lake.
turned out
right?
they were drunk
Turned
and all
out,
that stuff.
yeah, they were drinking, and the boat just kept hauling ass up and down the lake, and then it got late in the evening, and they kept doing it. Then it turned dark, and they just kept doing it, and then next thing you know, they hit land and launched into a house.
Yeah, so I mean, there's always something to take away from these crazy stories and articles that we read out, in the fishing hunting industry. Whether it's you know, uh, alligator ripping someone's leg off, and they were just bank fishing, or all that stuff. It's like, what can we do differently?
What would you take? Would you take the alligator ripping your leg off, or the broadhead in the L5?
asking me cake or death there.
I
Right?
know.
Man, I don't know, man. I wouldn't want to impale myself with a razor sharp broadhead.
I don't want my leg ripped off by alligator either.
Yeah, but that's a much cooler story to
Yeah,
live
at
and
least
tell.
it's not self-inflicted. Yeah,
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 to live
yeah.
and tell. That
Yeah.
young man's gonna have to face that. I have a friend who stabbed himself in his leg with a faulty quiver, and he still has to face us as we laugh
Yeah.
about that. Can you imagine this guy? You shot yourself with a freaking crossbow,
Bro.
Daryl. Yeah.
So how about this weekend, man? We had a pretty good weekend.
Yeah, man. So we
were-
started well, we had a bunch of hunters out this weekend, a couple groups and one individual, right? Yeah, no.
3 groups.
We had 3 groups.
3 groups. Yeah, 3 groups.
3 groups this weekend.
It was a long weekend, sorry.
Yeah, it kind of bled in from last weekend. But, man, needless to say, our hunting season started, we say we opened up October 14th. We had every hunter that has come out to hunt with us has left with meat in the cooler.
Yeah, we had fun ourselves too. Like, there's a cabin out on the property that we got access to stay there. So we camped out. Man, we were out there just camping. Doing when we say cabin, it's not not a hunting lodge, not a resort or nothing.
Yeah,
still pretty primitive. But
yeah. So we had a good time out there. We got to sight in our bows and then go get on some pigs, and that was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was fun, huh?
We got in close.
We did, and then a little bit of wind got us. A little bit of
little bit of wind. There was zero wind.
There was zero wind, but down in a low spot in a river's bend, kind of on an oxbow is how this sets up. And just one slightest little breeze that just kind of swirled around. And I mean, those pigs were 35, 40 yards from us, and we're just getting ready to shoot. And then get that little bit of swirl, and they gone.
Spook, they gone. But yeah, man, I mean, it was fun just getting that close to them. I can't wait to go and put a bolt through one of them.
Put a bolt through them.
Yeah, and then we got our hunters in and out. We had father and son. Well, we had Shane and Chris came out with us Friday. We had so much fun with those guys coming down from Vidor, Texas.
That's some kick-ass dudes.
Those dudes, man, they make it worth it, man, because they just constantly busted each other's balls the entire time.
What was the saying of the weekend?
Got one.
Got one.
We got a text from Shay, got one, and we were like, yep. And he's like, I'm waiting for another, and then he come out, got another one. Come load these.
Got 2 down.
Come load these girls up. Let's go. They were able to get on the get themselves back to the hotel so they could leave first thing in the morning. Then we had Brandon Vance and Jaden, his son Jaden, come out. Brandon got on his first doe.
First deer.
First deer, yeah. So we got him on his first deer. He had so much fun with us. That was so cool to get him on. And then the next day we had Paul Falcon's son and his son Jace dropped 2 doe. And left cutting 2 tags, and
so
those guys said they're gonna come back. So is Brandon. I think a lot of these hunters are like, man, I'm gonna come back and maybe get some more meat for the rest of the family or something.
Hey, we gotta give hats off to Jace too. That kid can shoot. What is he, 10? I think he was 10, 11.
He was 10,
11, something like that. And that kid can shoot. So
accurate shot.
And that's one thing that we always ask, folks that come out, what are you shooting?
What are you shooting?
What do you when like,
we're like the red carpet. We're like the red carpet interviewer. What are you wearing?
Yeah.
We're like, what are you shooting?
What are you shooting?
And it's important. Do you think it's important?
Yeah, it is important. And especially when you have like a young kid like that, because they're probably not going to be shooting a large caliber.
And in this case, he was.
No, he wasn't.
Remember, he brought out a 6.5 with him.
Well, he brought the 6.5, but
he did not use the 6.5.
No, they didn't use 6.5. They used 2.23 or 5.56.
Sure.
And that's when me and you.
I was just like, when I saw that kid, and I was like, he's gonna be pulling a 6.5, and turned out, he's like hunting with dad.
Yeah.
He's like, we're gonna take this 2.23.
And a 6.5 is pretty low recoil, but a 2.23 and 5.56, we always have hesitance when people say, "Hey, this is what we're shooting our deer with," because
why is that? What it's not the rifle.
No, it's not the rifle; it's the round. the most common rounds you're going to get are FMJs and green tips. You know, people they come out with those often.
Sure.
And you had this conversation, you brought it up, and you said, hey, man, what's more important, the rifle or the round? And that makes you think. You're like, damn, what is more important,
Yeah.
the rifle or the round?
It's a good conversation to have. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I think it comes down to shooter ability, but you have to have the right round. And when you majority of people that come out, they bring out a purpose built hunting rifle, and a 223 or 5.56 is. I'm not saying that it's not. What I'm saying is that you find more commonly like plinking ammo or green tip or FMJs, steel core ammo for those. They're out there, but you don't find too much of that in a 30-06, a 270, a 308, a 6.5. You know what I mean?
Right.
You find more hunting rounds for that. And the next questions we always ask them, if they get 223 or 5.56, what ammo are you shooting? And that's
right.
why. Yeah.
And that's why, I mean, the ball ammunition, green tips, FMJ, we have, from our experience, and I'm not going to say it's like this everywhere you go or what, but I mean, just from the hunters that we have put out and the experience that we have shooting whitetail, right? It's almost that's like a hot needle going through their body.
Yeah, you might as well stab them with a pencil.
It's almost an over penetration. It's almost an over penetration with that velocity and that ammunition.
It's just punching a hole right through them. The diameter of the round.
It's super small. It's almost 22.
What's a 22 cal? I mean, it's a 22 cal round, but I mean, it's 5.56 millimeters.
Sure,
that's what it is. So,
but I mean
does it get it done? It does get it done, but that's with shot placement,
Right.
But luckily, Paul, the father of Jace, he's a very avid hunter, and he's like, man, I got the right ammo, and he did, and he's taught his son how to shoot,
and I think he was ready to shoot up to, I don't know, he said something about he was comfortable at about 4.
Yeah, he said he was comfortable. I don't even feel comfortable with most grown men shooting at 4. You know what I mean? Much less a 10-year-old. But that kid did impress. Matter of fact, we got a video. We'll throw that video in.
Okay.
Ready. That's that dirt nap, baby. That's that dirt nap. Ooh, boys.
There we go.
Out here at the Cast&Blast. That's how we do it.
Uh-huh.
That's how we do it. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Quick.
But I mean, I think what it boils down to is choosing the right. A lot of people focus on, and I'm going based off of like the conversations we have with our hunters, right? When we're booking hunts and we're having conversations, whether it's via email or phone calls or whatever, and they're trying to book a hunt with us, the conversation is always on the table for what should I bring, what should I shoot, what's this and that. Most of them have a small arsenal.
Yeah.
Some of them don't have a rifle. Some of them are going to go purchase a rifle. Some of them are going to borrow a rifle.
Some of them borrow ours.
Yeah, and it's the conversations on the table. What's the right rifle and what ammunition? And I asked that, like, what's more important, the rifle or the ammo? And you had talked to me before. It was kind of like they play vital roles to each other. You know what I mean? And choosing the right ammunition for what you're hunting is important. Most of us go out and we get proficient on our weapons, taking target acquisitions at a range or out in the field or whatever, and you're shooting targets. And you're zeroing in and you're getting proficient at getting your shot group in tight and whatnot. And you're using ballistics that are, for the most part, intended for target acquisition, right? But are you using the same ammunition that you will be harvesting an animal with? And that's important to think about.
That's what you need to do. Whatever you need to sight that weapon in with whatever ammo you're going to be hunting with.
And the same
ammo.
It's the same concept when we were sighting in our bows this weekend. We're using field tips, right? Mm-hmm. But you got to use a field tip because you're using a target to sight in, right? Well, how can we say, I'm going to shoot the same bolt that I'm going to use to, as far as like bolt and, that this is the bolt I'm going to be hunting with.
Right.
Well, I can't use a broadhead on a target. I'll tear it up.
You
But I
can.
gotta.
You can. I mean,
You can.
and you should.
The only thing I do is I make sure I match the weight of my broadhead with the field tip that I'm using.
Your arrow flight can vary quite a bit, actually, because, I mean, you think about the broadhead changes the aerodynamics of that arrow. The fletching is there to correct whatever that is. But from a field point to a broadhead, there's a larger surface area, and it will
Changes everything.
It changes everything. So,
But with ballistics, you know what I mean? It also changes everything. You know, using something that you're going to be
a different grain bullet, a different style bullet, a
Sure.
different powder charge, a different Yep.
So just keep that in mind, and we're covering this because these are the conversations we're having with our hunters. We can have these conversations with you guys to make sure that you're having we're sharing the conversation essentially with our followers. So maybe you can have save that time and communication when you're booking a hunt. Hopefully you're booking a hunt with us, and you're gonna come out with us, and we can have this conversation with you. But
Speaking of booking a hunt, I got to ask you a question.
yo,
All right, so scrolling through Facebook, we do a lot of Facebook scrolling. You know, we're on social media quite a bit, right? And I see other people, advertising hunts. Come shoot this big buck. Come shoot this buck, that buck. But
post some pictures.
all
Post
your
some
pictures are at night, and I'm like, why in the hell are you posting all night pictures for bucks? Like, if I'm gonna book a hunt, and I'm going to shoot a buck,
I want to see what's going out there during the day.
what daylight pictures do you have?
I can't hunt bucks at
I
night.
can't hunt bucks at night. You got some pig pictures to show me at night? Cool, man. I'm all about it. Let's go. You keep showing me all these buck pictures, and you don't have a single daylight picture of a buck on there. I don't want to see that shit.
I get what you're saying, man, and I think it's one of those things. It's like,
I would never advertise the night pictures. Me personally, that's my opinion.
well, we don't.
No.
I mean, I don't think we look at
Yeah, you see.
we
to see
look
what's
at them in
there.
our game cams to see what activity you're getting. But if we're gonna put a hunter on a buck,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna show him daytime pic to
Daytime
show him
pics.
where that pattern is coming from, where that
I'm not saying nighttime pics aren't good because it shows what's in the area. You can.
It's a good question though. Why do outfitters show the nighttime buck pictures? That's all I see on Facebook.
Bro, I don't know. I don't get it. Well, I do because they see a high number of deer on their.
Well, that's your most activity.
Yeah,
I mean,
they see-
big smart bucks are gonna come out at
They
night.
see a high number of deer, whether they're big, small, medium, large, whatever. And then you see a lot more bigger deer at night on camera. That's when, you get more bigger deer pictures.
But let's be real. Would it not get a hunter excited to see
That's
that
why they
monster?
do it. They see that excitement.
They get they get hooked, man. They're all like, I want to go get that buck.
Yeah, they're like, so you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess what you're doing is you're almost kind of like challenge. Hey man, show me them pictures during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's harder. It's harder to get those pics. But if you have those pics and you can share them, I think that really shows your daytime activity. That's going to show the hunters what realistic expectations are going to be out during the day.
I mean,
Depends on what time of the season we're sharing these pictures too. Right? I mean,
no, not
Yeah.
for me. Not for me.
I mean,
Well-
for me, I know that if you're showing me a pic of a buck at night, right? Is that during the rut? Is it not during the rut?
I mean, during a rut, you
Because I guarantee you that you probably are not going to catch very many game picks. Not in some of these places where it's just straight over a feeder. You're probably not going to see that buck during the day in front of that feeder during the rut.
You might. I mean, you might if he stops or if they got a very active scrape. Most of the feeders, if they're by a tree line, they're going to have active scrapes all the way around them.
Yeah.
And you might see that buck in there quite a bit. But
Show me the bucks during the day. That's all I want to see.
But the thing is, what do the feeders bring in during the rut? Does.
Yeah.
What do bucks that only give a
Chasing
shit they
does.
care about
Yeah.
is does. So
Yeah.
you'll see them around the
Yeah, I
feeder.
guess you will. Yeah, you're right. So I want to see those pictures, man. We got some good pictures of bucks coming around our feeders during the day.
Yeah. We got a lot.
Our buck tags are all sold. That's why you don't really see us posting a lot
I
of
know.
pictures of that. We're not advertising buck tags. Everything's spoken for. But we still got a lot of does to take down this
Yeah,
season.
we got a few to
We got a lot on the
Sure.
books still, so we're doing good. So far, season consistency is good. Our what's it? some of the hunters that book with us, hey, what is your success rate?
What's your success rate?
I would say our success rate is 120% right now.
So success rate, that's debatable in itself, right? We
Well, I mean, we sell meat hunts.
sell meat hunt. The thing is what was the term you used the other day? It was pretty good. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, damn, that's good. I had to steal that.
What was it referencing?
Yeah, I was referencing putting. Oh, I think it was you said we can put hunters in front of deer, but we can't put deer in front of hunters.
Oh yeah,
And which it sounds crazy because it's the same exact thing, but it is because there's some variables there that they have to line up and be successful for. We can put the hunters in the right place, but if the hunters don't do the right thing, and we have no control over some of that, then the deer won't come out. Just coughing, talking, looking, being.
And that is based off of our scenario, right? So we're Cast and Blast Outfitters is an operation that we manage a MLD program on about roughly 1,100 acres on the Caulfield Ranch in Milam County.
Mm-hmm.
We know these 1,100 acres. We know where the patterns are. We know where the deer are. So what I was referencing that to was our operation. And that's not in everybody's operation, but in our operation, we know where the deer are. We know we can put hunters in front of deer. But what we can't do is, I can't guarantee I can bring deer in front of a hunter, say a hunter sitting in a blind or a stand or anything like that. Once Mother Nature is in control, Mother Nature is going to do what Mother Nature does. How you are successful is, at that point, is it based off skill? Is it based off luck? Is it based off wind, weather, all that stuff? It has all those to do with that, and we can take the time to basically coach a hunter into having the most success. But for the most part, a hunter comes out, they want to get in the blind, they want to get out in the tree stand, they want to go spot and stalk. Like, we got to get them out there. You know what I mean? And we go and we do what we do. How can you increase your success? We talk about it all the time. Scent control, you know, noise discipline.
Well, that's what you find that's hard.
Camo, all those things. You know what I mean? So those are the things that we can't control. Once you're in the blind, you're by yourself. It's incumbent upon you as the individual to be quiet, be still.
That's the point I'm making, and that's what it makes it tough every once in a while because everything that you just mentioned, camo, scent control, being quiet, being alert, looking around,
not being on
your phone.
Yeah,
we don't have control over that portion of them. But what puts the pressure on is individual folks paid for a hunt.
I think you and I take it a whole different level, though. You and I take it so much more. I'm not saying other hunt outfits don't take it so personal, but we're still starting an operation, man. We're super small time compared to some of these big ranches, right?
I take it personal if somebody doesn't get a shot opportunity. If you shoot and you miss, that shit's on you. It's on me to give you the opportunity to shoot. And 99.99.
I wonder if these other big outfits are that big. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you come out, get in the blind, that's on you. You know what I mean? I've been on some of them big hunts. Angel, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They put you out there, bro. It's on you, man. It's like they don't give a shit whether you pull or not. You paid. You know what I'm saying? Where you and I, we're like, you paid for a meat hunt. I'm making sure you go home with meat.
You're going home with meat.
Yeah, and it's tough, man, because we put a lot of that pressure on ourselves. But really, that pressure is on the hunter, man.
That's true. Yeah.
I like to see the hunters. We've been super fortunate to have some great hunters come out on our property and join us on some hunts, and we've been super fortunate to be able to take the kids and that parent is trusting them in our hands, and we get a chance to sit there and be like, all right, you ready? Coach them up.
Yeah, the coaching,
ready.
Coaching, teaching, and mentoring is
so much fun.
Let me ask you a question. What is the number one most important thing to deer hunting to you? Like, as far as creating success, what is a must?
Man, you put a big umbrella over that conversation or that question, right? So I would say, man. So it used to be, for me, before I started changing the way I hunt, and what I mean by that is I grew up in South Texas, man, and all I did was shoot in a deer blind over a sendero. I didn't do a lot of spot and stalk. I didn't do a lot of movement out in the woods, right? And so for me, it was always make sure I was sighted in, make sure I'm proficient with my weapon, make sure I'm comfortable with my shot, make sure I can take a clean, ethical shot every single time, practice different shots, practice different, taking those shots. That was me, right? I think the way I think now, the most important thing is, I think, and I would give this advice to every hunter: you don't have to have a gun to get out in the woods to become comfortable being in the woods. And what I mean by that is you're not going to understand animal patterns until you're out there watching animals.
So scouting, basically,
Scouting,
what
bro.
you're saying, scouting.
Scouting is, to me, the most important. And that covers a broader topic, because you can be talking about hunting private or hunting public. But
yeah,
I do believe that once you become more aware, and that's broadening your horizons of what you're looking at, what you're observing. Because I used to be tunnel visioned on watching a feeder and waiting for something to come out in that sendero over that feeder. And now I understand winds, I understand activity, I understand pattern, I understand all that. So I start widening my horizons when I'm hunting. I still go hunt in South Texas and hunt over senderos, and I have a lot of fun doing it. But before, when I used to be so transfixed on waiting for that feeder to go off,
watch your lane.
Exactly. Now I'm head on a swivel. I'm watching a little bit more, because I understand that there's so much more to that feeder going off. You know what I mean?
So I'm going to say scent, not scent control, but scent impact. And I say impact, but take, for instance, that, you sitting in the stand watching a sendero, you just got a lane to watch down.
Yeah.
If you got the wind to your back, you might as well just pack up and go home. You're not going home. I mean, so that right there is not only that lane, but your approach.
Oh, getting to
your approach and leaving. What scent impact are you leaving getting to your area and your place? What are the winds doing? Scent control is simply, what are you doing to control your scent? Are you wearing cologne out? And I say that crazy, people freaking do it. The deodorant,
Axe body spray.
Axe body spray. Or you
Shout out to Axe body spray. We're still looking for sponsors, by the way. Hit us up at info at. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I was gonna say Axe body spray. You can.
we don't need those sponsors.
Oh, funny story about I smell Axe body spray and get nauseous. But yeah, I think scent impact for me, and when I say that, I mean total concept of it, not just scent control, but scent impact of.
So, if I could spear this into a different and go kind of back to where we started. We opened up the conversation. Let's go back to what?
Okay, I just want to finish off with that scent impact. Scouting is very important. That's probably my number 2, but you can sit somewhere, and if the deer can't smell you, you can sit there for long enough. You can sit on your front porch, and a deer will come through at some point if you sit there long enough.
Good point. You're not wrong.
If that deer smells you, I mean, you had deer shit on
my front porch. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you're right there and a deer smells you, they're
not coming.
They're not shitting on your porch.
That's a good point, man. So that's a very good way to kind of stomp your feet on your point. Like, hey, man, that's the point I'm making, and that's a good argument to sum it up. But I say we wrap this up, man. We covered a couple of things, man, but I'll segue this into another episode, and we'll spark your interest on our next topic. So we talked about some of the things that we talk about with some of our hunters that are coming out, and that's all those topics that we talked about, the rifle, the ammunition, and this and that. Is there a favorite ammunition that you would go for when it comes to rifle? Is there something that you want to steer away from? Can we talk about that a little bit and go into different ammunition? Just, we don't have to cover them all. We probably don't have time to cover them all, but let's talk about some of the ammunition that comes out to the field with us all the time. and talk about that, kind of like the pros and cons and the different ballistics and all that stuff and what they do, the impact on the animal, the impact on the hunt, the impact on your overall success. You know, I mean, we talk about the from firing of the ammunition to the impact to the animal, and then what happens afterwards. I think that would be a good topic where we talk about those things and how they impact your success on a hunt.
Ammunition comes in a lot of various sizes and shapes. You know,
Well, we don't have to cover them all. I don't think we can, to be quite honest. But I do know that we have a few rifles here that have different ammunitions. We can pull those out, talk a little bit about those, and see if that. So I'll tell you what, if you're watching this podcast now and you enjoyed the conversation, join us on our next episode where we talk a little bit more in depth about different ammunition, maybe a couple different rifles, and some things that, you know.
I mean, we'll talk about some, maybe some that we shoot deer and hogs with.
There you go.
That's
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Deer, hog rounds that are used by us and Angel.
Angel, you gonna bring in something show and tell for us?
I'll probably bring in the Gucci rounds.
The Gucci
rounds. All right, so we get a little bit of designer stuff in here.
Get those Gucci.
All right, so you guys watching now, you guys know Angel's our producer. He's behind the scenes controlling the cameras and doing his best with the equipment that we have. But hey, man, he does a great job, and we appreciate you, Angel. Angel is a big part of our podcast. So maybe we can get him in here and talk about his rifle and some of his ammunition, and we'll just share some of that stuff with you guys. And hopefully you walk away with a little bit of information that kind of helps you kind of narrow down your next hunting experience. How about that?
With Gucci rounds.
With Gucci rounds. All right, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed this episode, man. We just wanted to kind of open the table today about some of the local events that are going on. We thought you enjoyed those stories and articles with us.
Don't end up in jail.
Don't end up at a boat ramp with a hostile woman. And man, if you are climbing a stand and you learned anything from this today, man, safety first. Do not become complacent and have a very crucial accident like that be part of your hunting experience. We want to eliminate those.
Fish with your buddies, not your girl.
T-shirt right there.
T-shirt.
Dropping bars. All right, guys. Well, we're going to sign out, man. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll join you on the next episode of the Cast and Blast podcast. And if you're watching and you stuck around this far, man, make sure that you're telling your friends and your family about this podcast. We want to make sure we spread this word of mouth, man.
Share.
So thank you guys.
Not only on YouTube, but Insta, Facebook.
Yeah, share on all your social media, man. It costs you nothing.
Free.
To share this episode with somebody. So, man, we hope you're doing that. Hope you're subscribed and following along. We appreciate you sticking around with us, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Cast and Blast podcast.